Images of a lovely nighttime cityscape built from highways and skyscrapers, neon lights, and dirty, dimly lit back alleys. The noise of Y2K electronic music, dominated by drum and bass, plays in the background as random words and strange sentences blur together in a bluish haze on the screen. You watch the screen, firmly holding the PS2 controller in your hand as the clock strikes midnight. Many of us grew up playing PS2 games with blurry Gen X soft-club visuals and cool blue tones. An experience that feels very different from the games released today. These waves of postmodern urban neo-noir games from the early 2000s through the mid-2010s embodied elements of city noir, jazz, and danger. But what happened to these games? By the late 2010s, they seem to have mostly disappeared. Was it a change in public attitude and culture, or simply the advance of technology? The fundamental concepts that make up a PS2 City are exactly what you would expect. Advanced technology, cold nights, and danger. Themes of street crime, conspiracies, drugs, murder, street fighting and terrorism are all a staple of the genre. But the most important theme is the constant tension between nightlife and danger. The early 2000s opened with a series of games that perfectly represent this feeling. GTA 3, Manhunt, Yakuza, The Bouncer, or even Racing Lagoon, a Japan-exclusive PlayStation 1 title. Many other studios quickly made games with a similar vibe after these titles came out in the early 2000s. Some of these included The Getaway, Max Payne 1 and 2, Midnight Club, Need for Speed Underground, and even Tekken 4. Big neon-lit cities that never sleep yet are somehow strangely empty. Cigarette smoke, cool leather jackets and expensive suits. What they all had in common was that crime and violence underscored everything else. Los Angeles, Miami, Tokyo. The air seems thick. A mix of smoke and heat. High contrast yet soft lighting. A 4:3 aspect ratio, rain, or snow, a completely jet black sky, neons everywhere, shops. In these video games, these cities almost seem dreamlike. They have a really unique feel to them. Characters inhabit cities populated almost exclusively by adults. There are no children in these games. It's a world where everyone is working late at the office, but still has time to wander around the city, smoking cigarettes and getting into street fights late at night. Everyone smokes, everyone drinks, and everyone owns a gun. Everything about this era of video games feels so sophisticated and sleek, far removed from the colorful games of the early 2020s or the playful B-action movie-inspired games of the PS1 era. The word was extremely different. Despite the limitations, the end results look amazing. Smart texturing, good shading and smooth animations have worked around the hardware constraints. The environments themselves were also reasonably detailed, but they benefited greatly from a segmented design. Most games were divided by short loading screens, which made it possible to push details beyond what would have been possible at a larger scale. Before we keep going, I just want to take a second to say thank you to everyone who made it this far in the video. If you are enjoying it, consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like or leaving a comment. If you are interested in playing the demo when it comes out, you should consider checking out our Patreon. Even fully open world games had a segmented design, they were just better at hiding it. There's a reason GTA 3 and Vice City are a collection of islands connected by roads with nothing on them, with only the vast ocean in the distance. In San Andreas they did the same thing but in a smarter way. They use real-time streaming, bringing higher poly assets and entities into the world as you moved. You would only see the low poly versions if you saw anything at all, because the fog was so thick and strong that it made almost everything beyond a few hundred meters barely visible. But what makes PS2 City so impressive and immaculately stylish is how sharp everything still looks today. I think these games look best on a CRT at the resolutions they were made for, but some people, including my brother, like to bump the resolution in emulators. And I can tell you, even today, when blown up to a higher resolution, these games have an art direction strong enough to overcome the limitations. The end result is still a sharp, beautiful looking game. These games use a lot of tricks, for example fake light shafts, a relatively simple technique where geometry is extruded from a character giving the impression of light shafts. But it looks convincing. And while many games feature real-time shadows for characters, almost every city had its shadows baked in. That adds a real sense of depth to the environment, and when everything comes together, developers were able to create scenes that look incredibly realistic on the PS2. This alley is a great example. The use of reflections, lighting, and textures help create a surprisingly natural and realistic looking environment. But there is something more important than realism. Is the soul, the art direction, the style, the aesthetic. Many of these games take their visual cues and their cinematography from neo-noir films of the 70s and 80s. But unlike those films, they let you, the player, explore the cities on your own. Even if it's not the full city, just parts of it, it still offers a more interactive experience than a movie. Another interesting thing about PS2 cities is that they often had a strange sense of scale. I never heard anybody talk about this before, and I only noticed it a couple of months ago when I looked at a specific screenshot of GTA 6. Look at the palm trees. There are just as many as there would be in real life. Now compare the same area with the PS2 version of Vice City. I could count on one hand the number of palm trees here. This is a scaling issue that sort of started getting better with the PS3 era. But still, even in GTA 4 and 5, the scale is off in many places. The best example is probably Vespucci Beach in GTA 5. There are only a handful of palm trees and NPCs here, and if you take a look at this area from the sky, it looks very off and very small. This is even more prominent when it comes to PS2 cities. The best example of this is probably True Crime series. True Crime Streets of LA is one of the most unintentional liminal games outside of Realism. The map is huge, but it feels extremely wrong to explore it. The human characters are too tall, the buildings are too short, the map is too wide. It just feels extremely off. It's not realistic at all. Ultimately, this isn't a big of an issue, but it really contributes to why these games feel so dreamlike and nostalgic. You can also notice this in Devil May Cry and many other PlayStation 2 games as well. But when it comes to racing games, the same thing is true. The scale of the cities is completely off, but playing PS2 racing games feel much more soothing compared to exploring cities on foot. Racing games had a higher production value compared to other games, and you can feel it. The cities are full of details, advertisements, neons, unique buildings, pressure on the sidewalks, and reflections. But they still feel somewhat off. When you look at it, they are not like real cities at all. They are more like racing tracks. There are no alleyways in Need for Speed Underground. All of the roads are wide, and all of the streets are nearly empty. It always feels like something is happening behind the scenes, something we are not meant to see. Everything happens at night, always with wet streets, as if time has frozen on a random rainy night in the early 2000s. And no one is there, just you. It doesn't matter where you are. You can speed through wealthy neighborhoods, highways, in front of casinos. No one will be there. There is no life here. There are no parked cars. Nothing that suggests people actually live here. This is also true for most PS2 games. And even if there are parked cars, they are completely frozen in time, just sitting in one place forever. The NPCs also seem frozen in time, but in a different way. Most PS2 games feature NPCs that walk around, but they don't actually go anywhere. They're in a constant cycle of walking from one place to another, and if they go far enough, they just seem to disappear into the thick fog. It's lonely. Even cities in Gran Turismo games give off this vibe. Some of the maps in Gran Turismo 4 are, for example, rather hazy. You can see that early morning mist, the kind you only witness when you get up before the rest of the world awakes. It gives off a feeling that you are one of the few people lucky enough to witness the city in these conditions. Even the street lamps emit that orange light. It reminds me of those early winters in the early 2000s. It feels just like how walking through a PS2 City feels. A very lonely experience. The fog swallows everything apart from the faint, flashing neon lights. But the effect only works because of what is rolling out. The city. For the first 20 years, I had to grow up in Eastern Europe, in a small town with a population of only 90,000 people. And I only saw what life is like in the big American cities from video games and movies. I saw an idealized version of urban life. But I liked it. And maybe, one day in the future, I will achieve my dreams and live in a place like this with my brother. In a dimly lit penthouse in New York, LA, Miami, Tokyo, or somewhere else. And in a tightly packed corner of that penthouse will be our PS2 and the CRT, so that on some busy nights we can turn it on and enjoy taking a walk in a city while electronic blues and jazz music plays in the background.